And we are live in the heartland of America, and from my heart to yours. I'm Jeffey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, and I didn't catch that quite in time. Sorry, I'm a little bit tardy. Entering in new cousin club members. We had a great kickoff on our cousins club today. It wasn't without some interest because it was the first time, and I'm the whole staff that's trying to do it. It's, we're doing it and it's been fantastic. But I do want you to go to, and we'll talk about it in a minute, the free part of the website, and you've got to view that video, because until you understand what's going on with the pedophilia and the abuse and the ritualistic, we'll just say the ritualistic abuse of the children with what's going on, you cannot understand what's going on in the world. When you understand what's going on in that realm, you will understand what's going on in the entire world. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But today, a great study on Revelation. Now, this really is, folks, this really is the core of what the Christian Whistleblower is all about, this that we're doing right here. And we're going to jump right into it, let you know that, and it's in times like these when I'm really, because it's funny, because I remember when I first started on YouTube, my son Joshua and I were living basically together. He lived, right near me, and like 10 feet away from me. And when we were back in trailers, and he would come over and we'd get ready to do a show, and I would be a complete nervous wreck. I'd be yelling, I'd be screaming. Everything had to be perfect. And it was complete trash. If you haven't even seen those videos, they were so bad. And now we've come a long way. And as I was getting ready to try to do that first Cousins Club show, nothing was working. And thankfully I had the Mystech bracelets on, and it just kept me in the moose-saw that I needed, allowed me to make some changes last minute, and it went off basically without a hitch. So salute to all you cousins. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And Mystech will absolutely, positively change your life. Go to jeffreydaugherty.com, click on the Mystech logo or tab. You get a full 20% off, and I'm telling you, it will absolutely make you a better person and help make you the person that you want to be. That's been my experience. And heaven departed as a scroll. More proof that rat bastard submitted to Rome. Who is rat bastard? Well, that's the god of the B-BLE, known as the AHAK around here. That's the god of the AHAK. Jeff, why do you use different words? Because the words that you use have resonance, they have frequency, they have meaning, they have power. Many of them are trigger words, many of them are activation words, and they're magic words, they're incantations, they're spells, and we do not want to give those things power. So that's why we say AHAK instead of B-BLE, and it's more proof that the AHAK, the Mon, G-O-D, the Mon of the Mon of the New Testament and Old Testament, submitted to Rome. He dissed his people, the LEMISH. He dissed them. He dissed ITSAF, the LEMISH people, and made a deal with Rome. And I just noticed that these things are kind of like scrolls. Cool. Awesome. That's what you call unconsciously competent. So let's jump right into this. And tonight at 9, before I let you go here, before we jump in, tonight at 9, folks, we've got Mitchell Gerber. He's not in China, but he's as close as you can be without being. I don't want to give away his specific location. And he's going to talk about some of the atrocities in China, the persecution of the Falun Gong, the organ harvesting. It's going to be just some stunning information that we need to know if we're really going to make a difference. Okay, so here we go. The rat bastard submitted to Rome. This, folks, is the real new covenant, the real new covenant. Let me read this to you to set our scene. And I beheld when he had opened the 6th seal, we're of course in the book of Revelation, And lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair. The moon became as blood. The stars of the heaven fell to the earth. We're going to talk about stars. Stars are not what we're told they are, or they could not fall to earth. Period. The end. And I've got to wonder if this talk of flatten the curve, flatten the curve, flatten the curve is not preparing us for some sort of disclosure about the realm planet that we live on. But more about that at another time. As the fig tree casts her untimely figs, a picture of the error, the erroneous institution of baptism by John the Baptist, and that's on this channel as well. You can search John the Baptist. When she's shaken by a mighty wind, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it's moved, when it's rolled together. And then you had where all of the people freak out because they see Titus approaching and his wrath is come, and who will be able to stand? And the answer to that was no one. They killed almost everybody. A few got away. And even then, he hunted them down to the ends of the earth. Like he says, he hunted down the elect to the ends of the earth. But we're going to focus on this phrase, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it's rolled together, because it's more confirmation that the rat bastard surrendered, that the rat bastard really was defeated by Rome and has been working in league with Rome. Lo, these 1,000 years. I know it's 2,000, but we really believe it's 1,000. And I think we've proven that. So when did this happen? Well, this happened at the opening of the sixth seal, which we proved earlier today and through the other podcasts on this subject that I've yet to link here. I need to link them. I'll put them in a playlist. It happened at the opening of the sixth seal, which we've proven was at Daniel's abomination of desolation at Matthew 24, making the great three-part event of prophecy. All biblical prophecy is about this one event, and it's history. But they know that prophecy's history, but they've got to make it a mystery to continue to be employed and empowered by you. Once you realize that prophecy is not future, prophecy is not a mystery, it's history, you will disempower them and you will empower yourself. You are not filled with original sin. You have the spark of divinity within. You do not have to go on bended knee to their Savior because you don't need salvation. You've already got life and life more abundant. You've got peace that passes all understanding, and only those that help construct and help perpetuate a fear and guilt, blood magic, mind control matrix wants you to think in terms of crosses and atonement and saviors and mother, father, sister, brothers, and all of that stuff. Praying. Set yourself free. It's time. At the opening of the sixth seal, the abomination of desolation, Matthew 24, Revelation, this is all the same thing. Context backs this up fully and allows for no competitive, objective, or empirical interpretation. Oh, you can give a different interpretation because you're a believer. And once you become a believer, you are no longer a researcher. Once you become a believer, you're no longer a scholar. Once you become a believer, you're no longer impartial, because once you've decided you believe something, then all of your efforts are guided towards finding information that coincides with what you already believe. It's called confirmation bias. And it's called, what's the other thing it's called? Cognitive dissonance that keeps you from accepting any more information. So unless your give a damn is busted, you cannot be trusted. And my give a damn busted a long time ago. I have no beliefs to defend, no books that are holy and true, some that contain some holy words, some that contain some truth, but nothing to defend. So let me call your attention to Luke chapter 4, verse 20. I'm not going to go to it because there's really no reason to go to it. You can see yourself that it's just printed out here, and you can read it yourself if you think that I'm adding words to it. But this is the central figure of the New Testament, and he's reading in this story. And what he's reading is out of the scroll of Isaiah. And he says, the spirit of the rat bastard is upon me. That's what he said. He said, the spirit of the rat bastard is upon me. Can I say that one more time because it's fun? The spirit of the rat bastard is upon me, because he hath anointed me to preach the gospel, which means the good news of the victorious exploits of the emperor. That's what the word means. The word didn't exist until Rome made it up. And Rome wrote this New Testament, this Roman Testament that you're reading from. The spirit of the rat bastard is upon me because he anointed me. It was the rat bastard that gave him the power to give this message in support of the victory of the emperor, which AD 70 was. Oh, I love it when a plan comes together. I'm ordering some cigars. I'm going to do it. To preach the good news of the victory of the emperor. Do you understand me, Mr. Christian? Do you understand me, Miss Xgen? Do you understand me, person that wants to claim you're really not Xgen, but you are? Do you understand that this word gospel, the very word, and I do have a name for that. It's HOTEK. This very word HOTEK did not exist as a word until it was invented by the imperial cult of Rome, according to the great researcher Joseph Atwell, and backed up by many, many studies that I've looked into since then. This word HOTEK, this word right here, HOTEK, did not exist until it was invented by the empirical cult of Rome. You're preaching this, you're teaching this, you love this, you believe in this, and you don't even know what this is. You're a special kind of special. And now when I come to set you free from ignorance and really gross stupidity, you want to fight against me and call me a bunch of names. But this, he was anointed, he was given power by the rat bastard to declare the good news of the victory of the emperor at AD 70. Wow. To preach to the poor because they were all broke, busted, and disgusted because the city had been destroyed. To heal the brokenhearted because the city had been destroyed. They were captives. Now they're being set free, but they're still captives under Rome. The recovering of sight to the blind. How many people went blind in the war? And liberty to them that are bruised. How many people were bruised? And to proclaim the acceptable year of the rat bastard. What is the acceptable year of the rat bastard? It relates to something called the Jubilee. Keep that in mind. We'll be right back there. We'll be right back there. And then, remember, folks, heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. And then the guy that Rome invented that talks about it makes this statement that we're looking at up here. And then what did he do? He rolled up the scroll. He rolled up the scroll and returned it to the attendant and sat down, saying, the eyes of everyone in the synagogue were fixed on him. And he said, today, this part of the script, you're sure, is being fulfilled in your hearing. Wow, so much good stuff, so much powerful stuff, so much interesting stuff there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and you cousins of all ages. Did you know that in the late Second Temple era, the custom of letting the land rest in each seventh year was an important tenet of Jewish law? The 49-year Jubilee with the 50 years as a Jubilee, the 49-year cycle with 50 years Jubilee had fallen by the wayside, according to Flavius Josephus. And what they now had was 7 years cycles where in the seventh year, the land rested, people that entered into contracts were released, slaves were released. So the seventh year was an important tenet of Jewish law. Flavius Josephus, a priest historian who lived in the first century, describes the Jewish custom of observing the sabbatical law in some detail. The writings of the rabbis and certain ancient contracts also make it clear that Jews living under the late Second Temple were careful to observe each of the sabbatical years. What they're talking about was they found contracts that were written for 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, 7 years, but never more than 7, because the contracts were written with how much time was left until the next 7th or sabbatical year. Do your math, start at 0 and start going 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. And guess what happens? After 10 sevens, what do you get? AD 70. You get AD 70. AD 70 was what? A sabbatical year. An acceptable year of the rat bastard. And in AD 70, that acceptable year of the rat bastard, this character was supposed to have read this text days before the events of AD 70. Well, it really was, but strike that. That's what they want you to think, but that's not really what happened historically. But it was an acceptable year of the rat bastard. He says this is fulfilled in your hearing. And this word today doesn't always mean today. It means right around now, pretty soon. This is going to be fulfilled in your hearing. And it definitely was at the destruction of Jerusalem. Don't get tripped up there more as we go. But this reading occurred in 70 AD, a sabbatical year. That's what the writers want us to believe, even though it probably doesn't line up with the fairy tale. That's what the writers want us to believe. And they wrote it, so who are you to question them? Go back to Daniel for a minute. Go back to Matthew 24 for a minute. Remember it said that he, meaning the prince of the people that will come, the ruler of the Romans that destroyed the temple and the sanctuary, he'll confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And you've got a couple of things in play here. There was the 1 week where he allowed everyone to go into Jerusalem and celebrate the Passover, which was 1 week. And there's also the idea of the 1 week of the sabbatical 7 years. 7 can be used as it can be used as years and as days. So you've got a double emphatic here, and I'm not trying to make this a New Testament Greek class, but in Bible college, when I learned New Testament Greek, you learn that that word can mean either a year or it can mean a week. In this case, it means both. It's a double emphatic, being very skillfully employed by the Romans that wrote this text. And you don't even have to believe that, but I'm letting you know the depth of this, ladies and gentlemen. The depth of this. Not only was it the breaking of the covenant, the breaking of the week that he said, okay, you can go in for Passover, because what did he do? Oh, you don't know this story? Did your captain never tell you the tales? Did you ever watch Star Trek Wrath of Khan? But it was Passover time. Jerusalem was surrounded by the Roman army. And in what looked like a magnanimous display of humanity, Titus ordered the Roman troops to depart and to create a column whereby worshipers could go into Jerusalem, even in the midst of siege and war, and celebrate the Passover for 1 week. And they were also in the midst of the end of their 1 week, 7-year sabbatical. And when they went into the city, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cousins of all ages know this, but they went into the city. Cynthia's not in the house. Just want to make sure she's okay. Cynthia, that wasn't her, but forget I said Cynthia. He made this covenant with them. Go in, they went in, and as soon as they went in, and Jerusalem normally had a couple 100,000 people, it was over 1 million with all of the Passover celebrants. He shut the gates, closed the ranks. Oh, can you imagine? What happened? We don't have to. You know what happened. And wow, it's just amazing to think about that. It's just amazing. So the 1 week, during the week, he causes the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, stops Passover in its tracks, ends sacrifice and oblation because the temple itself is destroyed. There's no place else to do sacrifice or oblation. That's the only place that it could be done. And then the abomination of desolation comes. It all is consummated, and the horrors are poured out upon them. And you've got this central character, HERU, DISTU of the New Testament, telling you he fulfilled double covenants here. And then when he finished, he rolled up the scroll. He rolled up the scroll. And he sat down and said, "This is fulfilled in your hearing today." And then we go to Revelation 6. And let's look at it in detail. Let's look at Revelation 6. And look what Revelation 6 says. And let's look at not Revelation 6, but the sixth seal. I don't think it's actually Revelation 6. Let me get over there. It might be. I thought it was further than that. Let's see. Revelation, I want to say it's actually 14. It's not 14. It really is Revelation 6. I've been doing too much studying. It is Revelation 6. The opening of the sixth seal. You can tell here, Barkley, you see somebody out back fishing or something. So let's look at this, and let's get into the actual Greek wording of this, because it's fascinating. It truly is. A lot to wrap your head around, but if you do, you'll be the better for it. So, and the heaven departed. Let's see what it means. What does depart mean? The heaven departed. We're talking about the rat bastard surrendering to Rome, the rat bastard leaving Jerusalem, leaving the HOTEK, or leaving the ITSAF people, leaving the LEMISH people, leaving ITSAF itself. And what does it mean? The sky receded. What does it mean? It means to be swept aside. Swept aside. The powers of heaven were swept aside. Can you see the language there? Can you see the word picture that Rome is trying to show you? The power of heaven, which was the rat bastard and the rat bastard system, it was swept aside. Wow, it was swept aside like a scroll. And you know what a scroll is? It wasn't books. You would open this up, and there's, here's the middle. And then what the HERU DISTU did was roll it back together, put it down. But they were swept aside like a scroll. What's a scroll? A scroll is a roll, and it's boom, a roll, kind of like these things you see here on the side, right? These rolls. So the sky was swirling. The sky was in upheaval. And the heaven, the power of the heavens that were swept aside like a scroll being rolled up. I haven't even looked at this word. What does it mean? To coil up. They folded. He folded up his tents and he left. He took down his tents and he left. He rolled up his bedroll and he left. He rolled up his bedroll. He folded up his tents and he left. It's a form of this word, and this word means to roll together. He packed his shit and he left. Wow. The rat bastard, the little God of ITSAF, the little mon of the LEMISH people, packed his shit and ran. Wow. He folded up his tents. He rolled up his bed. He rolled together. He packed his stuff and he ran. He ran. Wow. But wait, there's more. He was swept aside, so he packed up his tents, he packed up his clothes, and he ran. He ran. And this reference just dropped into my mind when I was working on this, and it's very, very powerful. 1 Samuel chapter 4, verse 21. And this woman says, Ichabod, and it had to do with a male child. Obvious exgen analogies. Ichabod means the glory has departed. And he was swept aside. He rolled up his tents. He rolled up his clothes. He left. He fled. Why? Because the glory was departed. Can we see what that word glory means in 1 Samuel? Again, I didn't look this one up. So we take a bit of a risk, but you can see that we know what we're talking about. So we always come out smelling like a rose. Go big or go home. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. If you're not a big dog, best you stay on the porch. We're big dogs, so let's look and see what the word glory means. I'll bet it means something deep for us here. Verse 21. And even though, boy, I almost wanted to speak in tongues. Watch this. Look at this whole verse. And she named the boy Ichabod. In the Roman Testament, what you call the New Testament, they named him Emmanuel. Ichabod, Emmanuel, both eyes. And she named him Ichabod. Ichabod means the glory has departed, inglorious, no glory. The glory has departed. That's what Ichabod means. So she named him Ichabod. Emmanuel, Ichabod. Ichabod is a type of Emmanuel. Saying the glory. What's the glory? Don't you want a little bit of the glory and see what the glory tastes like? Nacho Libre. What does the glory mean? Oh, it means glorious. Thank you. Such a great help. Ooh, the abundance of Israel was departed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Rome literally loaded up the abundance of Israel, of ITSAF, and took it back to Rome. Look at the Arch of Titus. The riches, Rome literally loaded up the riches of ITSAF and took it back to Rome. Look at the Arch of Titus. I told you this was some good stuff. The Romans took the honor of ITSAF, the splendor of ITSAF, the glory of ITSAF, and they took it all back to Rome. The wealth, the splendor, the things, the wealth, the throne. They took their glory. They took their glory. And this says, look at this, folks, glory in historic theophanies. You know what a theophany is? A theophany is what would happen allegedly between the alleged cherubim on the alleged Ark of the Covenant. The glory of the Lord, glory of the glory of KORC dwelt between the cherubim. That was a theophany. Rome took the ark. There's pictures of them taking the ark. And you know what they took with them? The power, the glory, the theophanies that took place, whatever that thing was, they took control of it. Wow. Wow. They took it all from Israel. It was all departed, ladies and gentlemen. The glory was departed. It was removed. And see, the language is so exacting. It was not only removed, it was uncovered. Do you know that Rome pulled down every single block of the temple because it was said that there was gold in the very mortar that held the stones of the temples together? And the soldiers probably thought if there's gold in there, maybe they put some jewels too. They literally uncovered and removed all the glory of ITSAF. The glory was departed from ITSAF. For the ark of their Mon was taken. This is all showing you exactly what literally happened, and it's showing you a powerful, energetic, spiritual lesson of what happened. It's showing you that the God of Israel actually surrendered. He actually acquiesced. He turned his back on ITSAF and aligned himself with Rome. The glory was departed from Israel, for it was taken wherever that Ark of God was taken, which was where? Rome. Staggering implications for those of you that have any interest in what's going on in the world. Heaven departed as a scroll. More proof that the rat bastard submitted to Rome. Folks, that is powerful. And you know what else is powerful? What else is powerful is the C60 purple power. It is the fountain of youth in a bottle. Cliff High says he and his wife are alive today because of it. Go to C60purplepower.com. Use the code TCW10 and get yourself a bottle and change your life. Save your life, potentially, within 1 month's time. You'll see a great and a lasting result. I have darker hair, eyes that I don't need glasses anymore. It's pretty profound stuff, but the spiritual, the intellectual, the physical manifestations are even more powerful, in my personal opinion. So with that, we'll go into the chat room, but I do want to show you just before we do that, I want to call your attention and make sure that you do go see and watch this video. It's very, very powerful. And again, you can't understand what's going on in the world today unless you view this video and understand the enormity of the situation that it's talking about. Now, you're right on the YouTube channel, so this is the easiest way for you to do it. And you probably figured out by now that we have been slapped on the wrist. We've been demonetized. By we, I mean me, have been demonetized for 30 days. And it's their platform, so I'm not going to get all upset about it. But what we've decided to do is to keep the Christian Whistleblower content on this channel because we never get in trouble with that. And we've taken our banned content, the content that I have deduced from what they told me that they don't like. So if you want to just click there, it takes you over to JeffreyDaugherty.com, where our hot content ban from YouTube is here. And there's always going to be, I said 10, I may bring it down to only 7. There'll be this one, and there'll be 2 rows. I'm going to get rid of that 3rd row of videos. It takes a lot of time to move videos around because as we show one in the Cousins Club, I drop it into here and then they kind of fall out at the end. So we're going to drop it to 7 rather than 10. But this is the one that we did today. And this doesn't have my commentary because I forgot to record it. But you've got to watch this video and understand the sexualization of children. You've got to understand what's going on with the abuse and misuse of our children if you ever hope to understand what's going on in this world today. So watch that video. These are some other banned content, military training for deep underground bunkers, empty hospitals, the truth about viruses and how we really get sick, the lie of Florida saying that mandatory vaccines, that was a lie, the gates of darkness, this talk here about race. These things will be dropping off, but there'll always be 7 of them. that are free for you. If you want to join the Cousins Club, you just simply click here, $10 a month. You get, it's going to be 5 to 7 exclusive videos every month like we did today. You get a great Slack chat, access to a great Slack chat room, video, audio, content, and talking back between each other. If you go for the $20 a month level, you also get, it's going to be weekly or very nearly so, small group meetings with me, open question answer. Beautiful stuff. I appreciate everyone that's joined, and you're really just, you're making it hard to do all the data entry, but I appreciate doing it. But either way, come here, watch this video. And these 7 videos that are up here, you're going to make sure, you're going to want to make sure that you did all of these. I'm going to take this row out. We're going to make sure that you've seen all of these, because these are going to be the unindoctrinate content for political, social, all of these things: vaccines, health, sexuality, real history, race, politics, NWO, Illuminati, still some spirituality, but most of that will be on the Christian Whistleblower YouTube channel that you are on right now. So with that, let's head into the chat room and see what you folks have to say, because sometimes that's the best part of the show, without a doubt. And remember, 9 o'clock tonight, so we got to get done here. We've got a great show coming up with Mitchell Gerber about what's going on in China. Thankfully, I won't have to say much for that one. I did see the commercial with Marina Abramovic. I don't want to say I told you so, but who was telling me about spirit cooking a year ago? This guy. This guy. Boom. Tracy says she thinks they took it down. Whew. Wow. Let's see. We did work out the glitches early. Just a bunch of cousins getting together and making things work. I'm going to roll through these really quickly because I need a little bit of break before we get on with Mitchell. It was likely technology, not just a box. I agree with you there, talking about the ARC. Whew. Let's see. So, I would say that's exactly right, Brandon. This is now proof that the LEMISH are merely tools of the Jesuits. You said it perfectly. You said it You said it absolutely perfectly. Well done. Well done. The Jesuits usurped the power and kept them on the payroll as long as they paid their dues, quid pro quo. Exactly right. Couldn't have said it better myself. So, folks, we're going to get ready now to talk to Mitchell Gerber tonight at 9 p.m. right here on the Christian Whistleblower channel. I don't know how long this video will be able to stay on the Christian Whistleblower channel. I'll probably need to move that one right away to JeffreyDaugherty.com, because talking about China and human rights violations and forced sterilizations and one-child policy and organ harvesting and the killing of Falun Gong people, it's going to be a pretty hot topic. So 9 o'clock, which is just over an hour from now, 9 o'clock Central, we'll be here with Mitchell Gerber. Looking forward to seeing you all then. And folks, we are the last generation of real humans. We're here to confront a world that wants to say things are bad and getting worse. We know things are good and getting better. We're here to confront a bunch of people that say this is the end, and the way we'll confront them is by winning, 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 and winning again. That's the way we'll do it. That's just the way that we roll. We're in the world-changing business, and cousins, that business is a booming. And because of you cousins specifically, that business is a booming. We are making a difference. It's because we unindoctrinate ourselves and we get busy. When going gets tough, the tough get going. We're the tough, and we are getting busy. I'm Jeffey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, for Tracy, our great moderator, and the lovely Cynthia. I salute you for being here, seeking after truth. And I will see you again at 9 p.m. with Mitchell Gerber on the horrific atrocities of the people in China. We are winning bigly, and we're just getting started. Make cousins great again. We'll see you at 9 p.m.